We just want to keep growing this and help other people feel confident in who they are and not think of sexuality as this demeaning thing that is over their head.
Society places being straight as a norm, and so when you're anything that's not considered the norm, it's hard to discuss that because you're sort of putting a red flag on your back and saying like, hey, like I'm the oddball out.
It's on all of us to make an environment as a team. We need to make sure that we're supporting our student athletes in everything they're going through.
Education is one of the most important things, and if you're not readily provided education opportunities, you need to seek those out. Being an active ally rather than a passive ally is also really important.
Everyone deserves love. Everyone needs support. There are different ways to give support.
And just don't drop it. Yeah.
This year we started a little group that has lunch every week. Whoever can make it can go. And we just sort of are there to show support for each other, and just it's an open space where we can talk about either the really difficult things going on in our week or the really good things that are just lighthearted.
We're just creating a sense of community, dedicated space where student athletes, particularly those that identify as part of the LGBTQ community, can just be and exist and hang out with each other. There's nothing more important than just feeling like you have affirmative community where you can just be yourself.
You don't even have to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community. You can be straight and an ally and also support everyone in the group and make everyone feel safe. And I think a lot of the community is filled with straight people because you need allies and people that will stand up for you.
It's really great hearing other people's lives, and especially with COVID, we aren't able to see everyone every single day. So hearing what's going on, what's new is really great to just sort of connect with people.
Student athletes, they're not just students and they're not just athletes, right? They bring with them a whole lot of identities beyond their studies and beyond their sport. But making space for those identities and making sure that we are really intentionally building community so that those spaces are affirmative is fairly unique. We don't have a lot of those dedicated spaces on campus right now, particularly within athletics.
Through just having these lunches, we've had multiple people be able to feel comfortable enough to come out to us. And yeah, we're only a small group of people, but we're hoping to make that community feel a little bit bigger around the whole team so that, you know, they don't have to hide that part of themselves. We are all in the same boat together, and we need to be this cohesive group together. And I think that connecting with your team outside of rowing can help connect with your team inside of rowing too. Being an ally is so important in everyone's lives, whether it be with the LGBTQ plus community or farther than that. Just knowing that they have someone there who's going to support them and encourage them and just have a helpful face that they know is super important. And so I think it is extremely important for them to know that they have people there who support them. Our freshman year, we're paired up with a roommate we don't get to choose, and I, lucky enough, got Olivia. We were super excited, and through social media, you could find out oh, they're dating this person or dating that person, and so I found out that she had a girlfriend.
We were going to prom that weekend or that next day, and she was like, hey, who are you going to prom with? And I was like, oh, my girlfriend, and I sent the snap, and I was like, oh gosh, what's she gonna say? Is she gonna be okay with it?
And I sort of opened that door. I didn't want to force it on her and be like, oh, you have to tell me this, but I wanted her to feel welcome enough that she was able to talk to me about it and just sort of show my support.
And she texted back, she was like, I'm so supportive of you, as long as you're happy, I totally support you. And that's when I was just I just felt so relieved that, I had a roommate that totally supported me no matter what my sexual orientation was.
Everybody sitting ready? Ready. Right?
Having allies it makes you feel safe, it makes you feel like people care, and they also have to know what they're talking about. They can't just go into it blindly saying, look at me and be like, oh my gosh, I support you, but you don't really know what you're supporting. You have to know what a lot of people in the community have gone through, but a lot of people, and some in the group and a lot outside the group, just in the community, have gone through a lot of discrimination. And it's something that allies need to know before they get into it, and that they can still stand by it.
Elena, what do you want to say to your family?
Kalispera.
Kalispera!
I've been inspired by the student athletes who have been on the team historically and who are on the team right now. Part of this group coming together, it hinges on those stories, those experiences, and the voices. So really this group was a long time coming. We take inspiration from and we owe a lot of gratitude to all the student athletes over the years.
We have a coaching staff full of women. For them to be so open and vulnerable with these conversations, these controversial conversations that they're having with us, it's so amazing and empowering for them to be open about that. It makes me feel like I can just go out and row. I never come to practice thinking I'm like gay is anywhere in my head. It's like it's a part of me. It's not who I am, it's a part of me.
Rowing is the ultimate team sport. The boats only go faster when people are working together, and so if you can have comfort and acceptance from your teammates and you can trust your teammates, it's gonna be easier to work with them in all capacities.
We have a trans student athlete that is now part of our alumni, and when he decided to transition last year, that was a big moment, right? Coming to me, I am so thankful that he trusted me with that part of his story.
It may not resonate with you what they need, they still need it. It's recognizing that just because you haven't had that experience or you need that support, other members of your team and program who have different identities and backgrounds may need it, and to advocate for them when you have the opportunities to.
By showing how our team is trying to support the LGBTQ plus community, we're hoping that that will also spread towards other teams as well. And then just throughout athletics as a whole, we're hoping that everyone's going to feel welcomed and supported.
3 on 3! 1, 2, 3!
Growing up, I was kind of sheltered a little bit, I guess. Being an ally for them, I think that it has helped me just to grow as a person too, and just to know that like everyone deserves love.
I don't have all the lived experiences that I would need to possibly understand everyone's experience, right, and what they're going through. But I can empathize, right? I can understand that if I will myself to realize that student athletes aren't simply students and aren't simply athletes, but that they are whole beings beyond that, and make space for those identities and really intentionally support those identities, that's going to be key. Change takes a long time, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be actively working on it on a day-to-day basis.
Our team takes academics extremely seriously, we take athletics extremely seriously, and we also take our community very seriously.
Growing this to other sports is the main thing we want. Bringing in more coaching staff from other sports and other athletes is just gonna blow this up, and I think it can be such an amazing opportunity to just get our voices out and make history for MSU athletics.